Welcome, Vitek from Engine. He is the CTO of the global gaming blockchain platform Engine.
That's great to be on. Thank you.
Can you please introduce yourself and the project Engine to our viewers?
Sure. So my name is Vitek Radomski. I have been into blockchain for since about 2012, and Engine is actually a company that started in the games industry. So we back in 2018 or so, we created a platform for people to build kind of social networks around games that evolved into games sort of integrating our payment system and people using online shops to sort of get perks in games. Then we evolved again into using blockchain. We were one of the first real companies to experiment with non-fungible tokens back in 2017. And now we're providing a whole end-to-end system of tools for end users and game developers and enterprises and companies to really harness the power of NFTs and use them in their products and making it easy for everyone to use this technology.
Awesome. So you guys have been exploring for NFTs since 2017, right?
Yeah. We were actually one of the first NFTs that ever launched. We basically wanted to make these tokens, but back then it was really like ERC20 tokens on Ethereum. Those were just fungible currencies. We wanted to make a platform for game developers to use. So, imagine playing your game and picking up weapons and armor and things like that. We wanted those to be tradable. We wanted people to actually, get that collectible value of them and use them as utility inside these games. And that's where it's really started.
Awesome.
So yeah, we even actually created the ERC 1155 standard back then. What's really cool to see right now is that it's actually probably becoming one of the most popular standards. It may actually be the most popular standard for NFTs right now.
I remember back in late 2017 when CryptoKitties came out, and it got a lot of attention, and then it suddenly disappeared from public's attention. And lately, so many people ask me about NFTs. My friends, my family, even my family, they heard of that NFTs are the next trend of crypto. Um, how do you see what has changed since the last 3 years?
When we started, it was really alien, right? And we had to really we started in a hard industry too. We started in the game development. Like you'd think it's natural for game developers to use this, but these games, like when people play games, they expect like a super modern, awesome experience. And the blockchain has really been evolving fast. It was a lot different back in 2017. The tools were much more primitive back then. I think right now we're starting to reach a point where the average person can understand what an NFT is and use it, and I'm really excited to see that. And when you talk about NFTs, like right now, I think we're seeing the real experimenters of society use these. So the artists, the musicians, the influencers, they're really jumping on board, spreading this idea to mass audiences. And I think what's going to happen is it's going to then move from that into actual companies, adopting NFTs, and then game developers will finally be able to, really harness this in large games at scale. So we're really excited to see this happening.
Because you're deeply involved into the NFT space, do you actually see the real adoption coming from those artists and even from the public, or is it still kind of a just a small fad, or is it just related to another trend-based speculation?
I think that of course there's a fad right now for NFTs, but it's really making the public aware that they exist. And so, right now you're seeing, marketplaces, artists and people kind of hoarding NFTs, trading them, doing all this crazy stuff. But it will evolve into them being actually utility tokens. So things that, we recently saw, Kings of Leon, the album, released as an NFT. And one of the cool things is that gave people utility is that if you get one of these albums, you can actually get front row seats for life to one of their concerts. Now that is something really useful, right? So we're seeing that kind of utility starting to be explored slowly. And I think that's going to really make it's going to be a revolution in the way people think about NFTs and items. I think that will start transferring into businesses, like I said, and the games and that whole entertainment space. That's where you can really play with that utility.
I also remember that for CryptoKitties, the major problem was the scalability issue. That it was the Ethereum was just quite too slow to handle that amount of attention and traffic. Do you see any improvements over the last 3 years in terms of scalability?
Well, yeah. So here's the thing. Fundamentally, Ethereum is a general purpose computing blockchain. So anyone can put anything on Ethereum. It can there's all sorts of different kinds of smart contracts, tokens, DeFi platforms, experimental games. They're all trying to compete for resource space on that platform. And the fact that it's general purpose means some people could be doing completely alien things to each other. What I see happening and what Engine is actually working on right now is like optimizing the use case for NFTs. So we are actually working on something called JumpNet, which is coming out quite soon. It's kind of a blockchain that helps people create thousands of these NFTs, distribute them, and then their users can move those NFTs onto another blockchain. So it's really just like a real I don't know what you would call it, a way to create them, distribute them quickly, get those NFTs out there, then integrate them into your products and easily move them out. We are also working on something called Efinity, which we envision to be the real highway for NFTs, and where we think that a lot of activity for NFTs will end up in the future. And I think that NFTs have very specific things you want to do with them. You want to transfer them, trade them. You want to do various kind of in-game operations. And when you have like a dedicated platform to do that, it's like tens of times more efficient than on a general computing blockchain like Ethereum. But I think Ethereum is going to live on forever, and it's going to be used for lots of experimental, fully decentralized experimental type of activity. So even with ETH2 and even with the new EIP coming out with the fee changes, I don't see it being like a long-term ultra cheap solution for NFTs. When you look at what people are doing right now, to do anything with NFTs, it has to be a really valuable transaction. So you're doing a trade and you're making hundreds of dollars. Sure, then you can pay that $20 transaction fee because you're earning money on it. But if you want to be doing things like picking up health potions in games and trading all kinds of stuff really fast, I think you need to start working with a blockchain that actually is made for that kind of activity.
I recently saw your disclosure for JumpNet and Efinity, and so the way I see it is there are actually a lot of mainnets out there that are even faster than Ethereum, and what quite recently, if you look at the trend, recent trends, you look at that. Mainnets like BSC, which forked Ethereum and then just replaces the POW consensus algorithm with the POA module, has been booming because it integrates so well with existing Solidity programs, and as well as the MetaMask, which has a lot of users. So, and I saw the JumpNet approach kind of resembles that technically. Do you think this is the way the trend will go? That a lot of other mainnets will also fork it and then and build an interface to kind of bridge the existing MetaMask users to the new mainnet?
I think it's interesting to see it evolving. I think with JumpNet, we're trying to achieve something very specific. We want exactly the current kind of user base to be able to instantly, seamlessly be able to do that on a POA network. So that's like a really quick, seamless way to mint items. Like if we were talking about influencers, doing big distributions of items, if we're talking about promotions from large companies, they want to be able to do that at huge scale. And that's where POA networks shine. But what I see happening is that is not an ideal solution for the long term. We want truly decentralized networks. And the issue with blockchains like Ethereum, for example, is the network itself is designed to basically incentivize miners. So the miners are processing the transactions. They're doing all this stuff. They're doing all the proof of work. They're being incentivized by transaction fees. The fees, people are competing for resources on that network. And that very fact I mentioned before, that Ethereum is a general purpose blockchain, makes it even less, flexible to really achieve those super tight transaction fees. So the solution really is to create an economy that will support NFTs, an economic system that incentivizes everybody that's dealing with NFTs. Like right now, like I said, you have to pay that upfront huge transaction fee cost because you'll be gaining some sort of profit off of that marketplace sale, but it's not going to work for items that are worth less than the transaction fee. If you're dealing with tons of items worth $1 or less, that's not going to quite work. So we have been working on this for a long time with Efinity. We think we have a solution for this where it really focuses on this recycled economy of NFTs themselves. Anyone providing value to the NFT concept. Like blockchains in general are a group of people that agree on a certain way of things working. And so we want to really experiment with that. We'll be releasing some more info about what we're doing exactly, but I think it's going to be pretty exciting for the economics of this.
Just regarding to the Efinity, you guys mentioned that you are going to support a lot of next gen features for NFTs in the Efinity network. Can you elaborate a little bit more about the secrets? What you are guys heading for?
Sure. Okay. Well, just without revealing too much yet, I mean, there's a bunch of problems. It's hard for people to get on board right now. When we talk to game developers, I've talked to dozens and dozens of game developers, and they're always talking about how are we going to get the mainstream users on board. There's so many barriers, whether it's those transaction fees we discussed, people just not even having wallets. How are gamers going to learn this stuff and then be able to get into it quickly? We are trying to break down all those barriers. We're trying to make it fast, seamless, cost effective, and that means offloading all that responsibility off the users. Some of the other things that Ethereum makes currently difficult with the current token standards, I mean, we developed ERC 1155, and that broke down some barriers because now you can have a game that has thousands, millions of items in that one smart contract. They can all interact and interplay with each other without having to deal with these permissions barriers that you have with all the other smart contracts. What we're trying to do is just create even more interoperability. So we want to remove these difficulties like with multi-sig. We want to have cross-chain support. We think NFTs, they should live anywhere. I mean, with a real physical item, you can take it anywhere. You can take it to a different country. We want NFTs to be able to be interoperable with any chain, preserve themselves when you move across any chain. So that's going to be really, really key to making this future-proof for hundreds of years. And we are doing some really cool things, like I said, with economy and markets. And I think this will make it sort of a system that grows itself, a system that people come into, they don't see barriers, they see growth. They provide some value, whether it's artists providing value or people that try to run the network or people that do price discovery, trading and those kind of things. They're going to be incentivized for doing that. We're playing with other cool ideas. I've talked to so many game developers. One of the common threads is we want our tokens to be able to be transformable, craftable, things like that. So if you think of, somebody taking a few tokens, like, let's say a blacksmith table or whatever you call it, or some sort of axe and wood, you combine them together, you create an actual token out of it. We want that to be really easy to do. We want you to be able to like convert a token, level it up, do things like that really easily. So lots of cool next gen features we want to make like native and simple.
Wow, that's a lot. And I guess this is a lot of new information for the viewers that hasn't been released even from public. Thanks for your info. I guess some of our viewers are, you have mentioned like ERC 1155. Like I guess some of our viewers aren't familiar with those ERC numbers. And I heard that Engine has a lot of contributions for ERC 1155. How is it different from ERC 721? And what was your contribution?
Yeah, it was actually the Engine team that created it, along with one other gentleman from Horizon Games, Philip. So we really looked at what people need to do with game items and sort of any kind of fungible and non-fungible token. We looked at ERC 20, which was the only standard at the time, and that only handles currencies. So, you want to make something that has a million units and they're all the same. That's what you can do with it. But so ERC 721 was standardized, and that lets you create single one-off non-fungibles. So a unique piece of art, that's a one-off item. But we found that there's a lot of inflexibilities. So with these one-off items, sometimes you want to take a whole batch of them and transfer them at once. Mm-hmm. That's not available in the ERC 721 standard. I know some people have been playing with various extensions, but that's a native feature of ERC 1155. You can batch transfer 100 tokens at once, mm-hmm. And that actually saves on transaction fees. Another cool thing is interoperability with different tokens. So mm-hmm. if you think of any kind of product, like where you're creating lots of tokens, whether it's a game or a like supply chain or anything like that, you want hundreds or thousands of different tokens to interact with each other and not to have to deal with permission barriers, having to approve permissions, because these normally smart contracts have to ask each other for permission. Is this guy, trustable? Is this guy not trustable? How many tokens do you want to allow to move between smart contracts? We wanted to break that down and just, people can create like a vending machine of tokens, mm-hmm. and define the rules for that whole, system of tokens. And then those tokens can interplay with each other. So with games, for example, you could do trades seamlessly. You can do crafting. You can do all those kind of things in that standard. So to really boil it down, you can deal with non-fungible tokens. You can deal with fungible currency tokens. You can make semi-fungibles where it's like, you create 100 pieces of armor, but they're all non-fungibles, but they're all kind of armor. So those are semi-fungibles. And they can all interact in that smart contract easily. So it has a lot of advantages.
I guess we are going to see a lot of 1155 standard-based smart contracts being live over this year. And I'm pretty excited, looking forward to it. Let's move on to quite a different topic. I heard that you guys are working very hard with the Minecraft plugin. Can you elaborate a little bit more where you guys are working at and how the progresses are?
Sure. Yeah, so Engine's roots were in Minecraft, and we, originally saw like thousands and thousands of Minecraft servers monetizing by, selling perks and items inside Minecraft. So when we created Engine, we said we have to make a Minecraft plugin so they can use NFTs in Minecraft. We have that plugin out. It's open source. You can go to our GitHub, download it, put it into your Minecraft server. We released a server where we started experimenting with some of these ideas. People could join, earn kind of NFTs and crypto by playing the games. And now recently, actually Microsoft Azure did a game called, I think it's Space Mystery, so where they actually integrated into the Minecraft server, and they actually you can earn Microsoft badges inside that game. So that was really interesting to see. Minecraft is actually kind of that decentralized sort of system too, where people spawn their own servers. So you can literally take our plugin, you can modify it to match your server, whether it's a Game of Thrones server or if it's some kind of unique server that you make, and really try experimenting with NFTs with it.
How does NFTs benefit the whole Minecraft community? Is it that some people can earn money, or what's the value in that?
Well, yeah, that was sort of the concept with everything we're trying to do in games. I mean, what we did in Minecraft is really the same across any kind of video game, and our whole platform that we built is for game developers. And Minecraft servers, are unique sort of experiences that server owners launch a Minecraft server. They create a unique gaming experience for their users, and then they can offer perks, rewards, armor, items inside the game. So in Minecraft, you can collect items, you can build things with them. There's some really hard to get items, really rare ones. So if you make some of these things into NFTs, maybe you can also make special items, like get a diamond helmet that gives you really fast run speed. If you make that rare and limited, now people are going to really want to get that item. If it's an NFT, it's provable to be rare and limited. And I think the real power of people using NFTs in these experiences, in these virtual worlds, is they can take them outside of the game. They can trade them. Instead of going to eBay and trying to sell their Minecraft account on eBay, right? They can actually just sell the items directly, or they can trade with them and show them off on a blockchain explorer, have them in their mobile wallet. So when people have that power, they feel really empowered, and they really want to get these cool items. So I think people adding utility inside Minecraft to some of these items, it's a really good way to explore these ideas. And I hope to see game developers really in the next few years really tapping into these cool aspects of NFTs.
Yeah, and I heard that you guys are not just focused on just Minecraft, but in a general gaming developing platform as well. So I heard that Engine is supporting Unity in terms of SDK to make it much easier for game developers to build upon Engine's blockchain infrastructure and to integrate it into the gaming. Can you elaborate a little bit more about that?
Yeah, the whole concept in the end is, we know game developers want to focus on making their games. But game developers love to explore new technology and new ways to bring users in and get users excited. So, we want to just give them a set of SDKs. They're kind of libraries that you just plug into your game, and then you can instantly access the power of NFTs. You can create new NFTs, you can mint them, you can send them to your players. So yeah, essentially our SDKs make it easy for devs. They can start playing with these concepts. They don't have to build this massive blockchain infrastructure and have a whole blockchain focused developer team to play with that. So like I said, I think as the NFT revolution starts gaining speed, I've already heard that many game developers are very interested in this. Some of the larger game developers, even a large Korean one, I've heard is quite interested in exploring this space. So we're going to see them, using these kind of tools.
Awesome. There is also another very famous gaming platform called Unreal. Are you going to support that platform as well in the future?
Yeah, so the way we wanted to tackle Unreal, so our like we've been evolving since 2017.
Mm,
We initially thought that game developers wanted this like super fleshed out, interface in their game engine. So we made the Unity plugin to have like all these features. Then we realized after working with game devs,
mm,
they wanted a simple, pared down interface.
mm,
So what we did for Unreal and what we're working on is a C# SDK.
mm,
So we're going to have all the major programming languages covered, where they plug it into their game and then they can just access the blockchain and do some of the core functions like transfers, mints, all the core stuff you can do.
mm,
I think we're going to leave it at that, because the way that game developers then develop their own inventory systems, their own unique gameplay elements, they can use that library in the background.
mm.
So that's how we're going to tackle engines like Unreal Engine.
Awesome, awesome. I'm really looking forward, because once you covered all those major gaming platforms, I think we're gonna be much close to so every gaming adopting blockchain as well.
Yeah, so Unreal Engine is amazing. I can't believe what UE5 is doing.
Hmm.
I'm a huge fan of the Unreal Engine. I play with it a lot. And like the digital humans, if you've seen that, they look literally like real people. And I'm like, holy cow. So yeah, I can't wait to see people using this to make blockchain games.
The next question is kind of a related question. So a lot of people are really expecting when the mass adoption of those NFTs will come to the mainstream gaming scene, so that like if you play any famous game, all those items will be able to be traded without any permission from the game service provider itself. So how far are we away from that kind of environment?
So I think this NFT revolution happening right now
Mm,
has really made people aware of it,
mm,
and we're actually talking to several companies right now that are interested, and they're sort of sniffing around and trying to find out, how do we do this? How is it going to benefit our games? And these are larger gaming properties, so I think it's going to happen very soon. In the next year or two, I would say you would see a lot of larger games coming up.
What are still the obstacles that are preventing from spreading this movement a little bit faster? What kind of challenge do we have to solve?
Well, again, interoperability is a big issue. Transaction fees, interoperability. So you can't exactly build a game that wants to do hundreds of thousands of transactions on Ethereum, because it'll just completely overwhelm the network,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then you try to move into different blockchains that are trying to fix this solution. There's various different solutions out there. People are trying to make this accessible, whether it's completely unique blockchains or EVM or some sort of layer 2 solutions. But the problems they're kind of building walled gardens. The tokens are kind of difficult to move. Either kind of still locked into Ethereum, and maybe they jump onto another network and come back to Ethereum. So we've been really we knew this would happen since 2018. We've been trying to work on a really interesting solution. So I think compatibility between chains, interoperability, and making these tokens validated and actually, like, I don't know, what do you want to call it, like making the token actually really crystallized as a token wherever it moves across any chain.
Mm-hmm.
That's really going to give people options.
Mm-hmm.
So we're working on something there. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is it be solved through JumpNet and Infinity only, or are you also working with other interchain platforms like Polkadot or Cosmos as well?
Yeah, we think that all this kind of stuff is going to be important. So Efinity is going to connect to multiple chains, and we kind of want to build this token standard and sort of kind of like a interchain tokenization standard that will work across all these chains. And we really love what Cosmos and Polkadot are doing as well, with the way that they're creating these networks of parachains and networks of the Internet of blockchains. So, yeah, I see things moving that way, and NFTs are going to be able to migrate onto these platforms, and we really want to help facilitate that as well. To make these, like, in the end, we want people to really extract that utility out of the NFTs. Right now you're seeing the collectible aspect. We want to make it really useful and inspire people to use that utility. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting year, I think.
My final questions. Our team, our Zangle team, has been working for the last months to help the engine team to disseminate disclosures in order to improve transparency among the whole crypto industry, to let people understand, let people know what the actual team are pursuing, to make all that happen in the reality. So my last question is, how important is transparency in the crypto space as a whole? What's your opinion about that?
Well, I have to say I love what Zangle's doing. The fact that you can drill into a project and like see on-chain data, see disclosures, see like everything you want to know about any project. I'm actually surprised about how much data you can get there. So I think that's super useful. The problem is with blockchains right now. All the data is there, but how do you view it, right? You can go into Blockchain Explorer and like take 20 years to sift through that data. I love your on-chain sort of analysis tools, and I love that you can combine that with information from teams themselves, and really get a full overview of what a project's doing. So it's super useful, and I'm really excited that there's tools like this. I mean, we need this in all areas, like not just crypto projects. We need this for like crypto taxes and gaming and everything, honestly. So it's really cool.
Thanks a lot for your compliment. Happy to that you think it's useful, and we hope we can help you further for the next in the future to do what we do.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot for all those answering questions, and yeah, thanks a lot, and see you next time.
Yeah, it was fun.